everyone, it's Tammy Klinger here, also known as Tambarambaa, and I'm going to share another art journal page that you can see here that I created with Art by Marlene products. So these are all the products that I'll be using, but I'll run through them individually as I go. So first of all, I've grabbed a large sheet out of my artist size journal, and I grabbed some paints, and I grabbed a sheet of paper from the Out of This World Arty paper pad, some elements from the Mint collection, and some stickers and some stamps. Alright, so this, as I said, this is from the Arty paper pad, and it is ABM002TW for Out of This World PP16. So I'm just using one of the sheets in there, and then I also gathered together all my die cuts to have a loose idea of what I wanted to do. So what I'm doing at this point is I'm working out my paper, the paper from the Arty paper pad, and I'm trying to make that paper blend into the whole page. So instead of it only just being a square piece like that, I want it to look like it is the whole background. So I'm just kind of recreating that sort of circly, swirly colour by using paints that are similar. So I have got paints, I'm using Smurfs, which is the deeper blue. I've got some Azure, which is that deep teal, and I've got a little bit of Mermaid there as well, and some Pitch, which is the black. And then on the right hand side I'm using the Azure and Mermaid again, and a bit of Wow, which is one of the neons, and it's got a lovely vibrant fluoro look to it. So as you can see, I've been working around the edges and building up layers, and just really spreading it with my fingers as I go until I'm happy with all the little spots. What I am doing though in this part, that's another great colour, that's called Punk, and that's from the neon set, and that's a purpley colour. And what I love about the neons is they're really transparent, so by adding it over the top of some of your other colours, it really lifts up those colours and makes them pop. So I've just added a bit over some of the blues and the purples, just to lift it. Okay, so I'm going to glue my sheet of paper down now. So I'm just using some decoupage lacquer from Studio Light, and making sure that I pop it on the back and on the top as well, just to seal in those edges, because I don't want it lifting while I continue to work on it. Okay, so then I just quickly give that a dry with my heat gun, and now I just want to come in again with those same paints and just go slightly over the edges of the paper that I've just stuck down. As you can see, this part starts to blend it really well. I'm trying to kind of replicate the colours that are already there, so that it just is one continuation. So you can see that's kind of starting to look better already. So now I've added a bit of the white, which is the lace, to a couple of the colours, just to give it a little bit of a softer look. And then what I'm going to do is get each of my colours that I've used in the background, and I'm going to grab a cotton bud, or we call it a cotton bud in Australia, it's probably called a Q-tip in other places, and I'm just using that to recreate those dots in that background, just to really, again, look like it's one whole piece. So now I have taken my elements and worked out kind of where I want them, and then I'm just using paint to create light coming from the lighthouse. So I do it with actually the cotton bud and smudge it out, and then I'm using an old store card just to add a few lines as well. So now I'm just working out where I want all my pieces to go, and often I cut them down so that they fit to be how I would like them. So a bit of shuffling, bit of playing in this at this point. So I think at this point I thought, oh, I cut too much of my rainbow off. So when I tried to join it back up, it didn't look quite right. It wasn't reaching out past the mountains as much as I wanted it to. So I've gone back into my paper elements pad, which is STANS block BM04, and I've found a little cloud just to join those pieces together. So now I'm just gluing down all my elements with the sticky glue and tucking them in behind so that it looks like there's depth and to my page. Okay, so now I've grabbed a stamp set. So this is from the Out of This World collection, and it's called Dreamgirls, and it is ABM OOTW for Out of This World stamp 70, and I'm just using the little sort of night sparkles, and I'm stamping it with different colour ink, archival ink, in my sort of the pinks and the blues, just to give another, you know, a bit of depth. Now you'll just see my cat walked through then. So there was some glare from the sun and then my cat walked through on the table. So that happens often when I create. So anyway, I've settled her again, and I'll just keep going. So I also just decided to add another stamp, and this one is called A Windy Day, and it is stamp BM68, and it's got that lovely wave ocean stamp on it. So I'm just adding that in a couple of, again, different coloured inks just to the bottom of that wave die cut there. Okay, so now what I'm doing is adding some black, so that's the pitch paint, just flicking some paint over my page, and then I'll just add black to a sponge and rub it around the edges just to give it a border. So this really sort of pulls it all together and frames your artwork. So that's what I'm doing there. And then I think I come in with white paint and do the flicks again. Yeah, that's what I'm about to do. So that kind of adds a little bit of a starry look to it. So I'm focusing them around that black section mainly for the night sky. I found a couple of little bits I hadn't stuck down yet, so I'm sticking those down, a few stars. And what I'm doing here is I'm adding some shadowing around my elements just to make them pop that bit more and just to show where things are overlapping. So then I'll use a little fine brush and some water just to dissolve that a little bit as well. So you can see that sort of pops them out. Then I'll grab a white paint pen and just add a few little highlights here and there. And then finally I find a quote. So this one works perfectly. So this is from sticker BM02, and it says, "Don't let the sky be your limit when there is a whole universe out there." So I thought that was perfect for this one. So I'm just going around the edges with a black pen. And then just to finish, I get a little bit more of the white paint, which is lace, and another cotton bud or Q-tip, and just add a few more bits just to add a few highlights. And that's it. So now it's time to add it to my album. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed it today. It's always a bit of fun to create a scene. I do like creating a story in my work. So I hope you get to play too. Thanks for watching. Bye.